What's up, everybody? Welcome to some Sultai Death Shadow. I'm excited. Hope you're ready to get some nice little grizzly salvages going. The graveyard popped up. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, I think I like this. It's not too bad. We don't really have any creatures, but we have Thought Scour. You know, we're looking at turn 1, Catacombs, Grizzly Salvage. Yeah, we'll keep on this one. And we're on the plate. Yes, sounds like a plan. So, we'll go and lead off with the Catacombs, get that down. We'll be able to search up a nice little watery grave. Gemstone Caverns. Uh-oh. Are we, I've been playing against a red-white, like, prison deck or something like it. What was it? Some deck had, look, they churned out like a Nahirian, like on turn 2 or something like that. Alright, we're seeing a Waste getting exiled. Okay, we'll see what we're playing against. Let's go ahead and get the Catacombs down. Yeah, that sounds good. Anything else? Now we're going to go and pass the turn. But yes, welcome to some Grizzly Sultai. I hope you enjoy some nice little Death Shadow, maybe some nice little scavenge of Death Shadow onto Hooting Mandrills. It's always fun. But yeah, this is a little bit more of a, I don't know you guys. I love playing Sultai decks, and we have Varolz in here, so we do have the option of scavenging Death Shadow out of the graveyard onto one of our creatures. Chalice for 1. Alright, let's go and crack the Catacombs in response to that. That's going to be a little bit of an issue for us to get around that one. Let's go and crack the Shock the Water We're going to pay 2 on this one. Let's go and go Thought Scour in response, and we'll see what we can do around that Chalice. So looking target player choosing us. Go ahead and go for that. See if we can't, we're drawn to Thought Seize. Anything, no, we're going to go past the turn. So, we still have Grizzly Salvage. Basically, with Chalice out there on 1, we're going to be on the game plan of going for our Delve creatures now. Or we can simply just go for an Abrupt Decay, which would be nice to kind of take care of the Chalice. Let's go and shock the Overgrown Tomb in. Kind of like that. Let's go and shock that. We could go for, just in case there's some random Simian Spirit Guide or something like that. I like leaving up an Abrupt Decay. Worst comes to worst, if we want to, we can go for like Grizzly Salvage during our turn or something like that. Maybe we do hit into a Death Shadow or something. Yeah, I think I'm okay though. We'll go and pass the turn. So we're going to have Abrupt Decay on the Chalice of the Void. We'll be able to take care of that, get it off the battlefield, and we'll see what else we're going to roll out with. But worst comes to worst, we can also get down the Liliana, start working towards an ultimate if that's what's going to happen. All right, opponent does that get, excuse me. Our opponent gets a Ghost Quarter down. Now, we do only have very few basics in here. We have a Swamp and a Forest, so if they do go for the Ghost Quarter activation, that might end up being a problem for us. Okay. See what they're going for. But yeah, at least we do have a Abrupt Decay on the Chalice of the Void to kind of keep that off the battlefield. Alright, Eldrazi Mimic. Another creature enters the battlefield under your control. You may change base power equal to it until end turn. Okay, I think that's fine. Yeah, go for it. Get the Mimic down, and then that Waste is going to be exiled. So let's go for that Abrupt Decay on the Chalice. Okay. And then let's go ahead and draw into Tarmogoyf. Yeah, let's go and get the Swamp down. Yeah, let's go and go for Thought Seize. Let's see what's going. See what they have in the hand. Simian Spirit Guide and Thought Not Seer. And that's a legendary land, but they're actually going to be online for Thought Not Seer next turn with the Simian Spirit Guide. So let's go ahead and go for the Thought Not Seer. I think I'm okay with that. Getting rid of that. Let's go ahead and go for Tarmogoyf. It's going to be a nice little 5/6. And then next turn we'll be online for Abrupt Decay to kind of take care of the Mimic and then kind of go from there. So as far as their hand right now, they have Gemstone Caverns and Simian Spirit Guide. They kind of want to power something out, but at least we took care of the Thought Not Seer, kept that off the battlefield. If they want to play the Caverns, they can. It's just going to simply just kind of die to the legendary rule, so it won't really be the best thing for them. All right, getting down the Eldrazi Mimic, and then Death Shadow. So we are sitting exactly at 13. If we get down Liliana, we're going to be able to minus on the Mimic and start swinging in. I think I like that. Yeah, let's go and go for Liliana. Let's get down Liliana. We're going to go for the +1 ability. Take care of one of the Mimics. Let's go and swing in with Tarmogoyf. If they chump block, that's fine. We'll get it off the battlefield. If they want to swing in on the back end for 2 and take care of Liliana, they can. If somehow they make it into a 4/4 with like a Thought Not Seer or something like that, you know, it's a risk I'm willing to take at this point right now. Anything else? Now we're going to go and pass the turn. So, and then we're sitting at 13. So if we can somehow use the Grizzly Salvage to find a fetch land or a shock land or something like that, that'll kind of put us into that range to where we can finally get down Death Shadow and kind of get out from underneath the Eternal Scourge. Cast it from exile, becomes the target of spell or ability, exile Eternal Scourge. Okay, that's fine. Get that down. And if we want to, we can actually just keep plussing up with Liliana and exile it. You may cast it. Yeah, so we can just actually just kind of keep it exiled from there. Swinging in for 3. Let's see if they're going to swing in at Liliana. They are going to go for Liliana. Now that puts us on going for the Liliana activation, and then we could go for an Abrupt Decay on the Mimic and keep the Scourge away. I think I like that line of play a little bit better. Because we'll be able to get the Scourge out of here, swing in for 5. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's go ahead and plus up on Liliana on the Scourge. It's going to get exiled, so if they want to keep casting it, they can cast it. Gets -2. Let's go ahead and go for the Abrupt Decay on the Mimic, because we want to make sure that Liliana does stick around. And let's go ahead and swing in for a nice little 5/6. There we go. Beautiful. Coming in hot for 5. Puts them down to 15. Anything else? Now we're going to go and pass the turn. So we did have Death Shadows in the hand. We could have simply just cast it to go into the graveyard and it would die, and then would be online for some more +1 counters for Varolz. But I think at this point we just kind of wanted to just kind of play it out, see what we can get into. So looks like we're playing against interesting, I guess like all-in Tron. I mean not Tron, but Eldrazi or something like that. What do we want to bring in? Let's bring in the Ceremonious Rejection. Let's bring in 2 of those. Put those over there. Anything else we're going to bring in? Stubborn Denial could be nice in this matchup. Nature's Claim if we're going to go for the Chalices. I think at this point, an argument could almost be made for, I guess Golgari Charm, because we could catch those Mimics, but is that exactly what we want to go for? Let's go and bring in and go for the Throat. And do we want to bring the Pulse in? Yeah, let's go and bring the Pulse, because it's going to be a good option for us to kind of deal with those Chalices out there. So, bring in 5 cards. Let's go and back off 1 Grizzly Salvage. Just go off 1 Snapcaster. I like the Thought Scours. I like the Vapor Snags. I like the Thought Seed, even though they might turn out a quick turn 1. I mean, Chalice for 1. You know, if they do, that's not the end of the world. Let's go and let's back off the Varolz package. It is a little cute sometimes. I mean, you're going to win some games with the Varolz package, so don't act like. I mean, not don't act like it, but it's one of those that. If you need to be a little more cutthroat, it's one of the things you can kind of cut out and write it whenever you need to. And then what else do we want to cut? I like the Abrupt Decay, Death Shadow, Fatal Push. Actually, let's go down on 1 Fatal Push. It's really only going to hit the Mimics, or, well, actually it's going to hit the Thought-Knot Seers if we do have a fetch land. Let's go down on 1 Stubborn Denial. I think that sounds good. Yeah, we'll go down on 1 Stubborn Denial. I like this. Let's go and sort it by converted mana cost. See what we got. Yeah, looks good. Let's go and send this one over to game 2. Okay, as far as our opening hand goes, we have double Ceremonious Rejection. That's going to be black, blue, and then green. But this hand doesn't really go anywhere really quick. Vapor Snag, I guess we'll keep on this one. I'd like to mulligan, but if we don't really hit anything that's black, blue, green, they'll still be online for Grizzly Salvage. Yeah, I guess we'll keep on this one. We'll see what we draw into. Having double Ceremonious Rejection might be good in this matchup. We'll might be able to catch a Chalice if they don't have stuff like Simian Spirit Guide in the hand, and then we can kind of hopefully kind of stabilize from there if we can kind of sequence together some fetch lands, because we do have double Death Shadow. So, oh, Cavern of Souls. All right, so they'll be able to get past that. But at least the Ceremonious Rejection will allow us to kind of push past any Chalices out there. All right, so draw the Tarmogoyf. Let's go and get the Catacombs down. Anything else? Now we're going to go and pass the turn. Kick it over our opponent. So we are playing against Eldrazi. I guess this would just be, I don't know what version of Eldrazi you want to call it, because the Eldrazi Tron is really popular at this point right now. I guess this is just colorless Eldrazi. Chalice for 1. Let's go and go for Ceremonious Rejection on that one. Let's crack the Catacombs. Let's grab that Watery Grave. We're going to go and shock that one in. And that's still going to keep our Vapor Snag online. And then plus having the Artifact and the Ceremonious in the graveyard, we're going to be online for a nice little Tarmogoyf. Exile card from the graveyard. I think at this point we'll go ahead and exile the Ceremonious Rejection. So what we can do is we can go and get down Tarmogoyf, kind of force the issue if they want to crack and exile everything out of the graveyard, instead of like kind of trying to like play this like standoff with the Relic and our Tarmogoyf out of the graveyard. Let's go ahead and get the Forest down. Do we want to leave up 1 more Ceremonious Rejection in case they go for another Chalice from 1? If we let a Chalice for 1 resolve, then we're basically kind of dead on board, and we're just only on Tarmogoyf for the Relic of Progenitus. Let's see what they've got. You know, let's wait 1 more turn to see if we need to kind of survive another Chalice for 1, and then we can slowly roll out Tarmogoyf. They're going to be able to kind of pick apart our graveyard with that Relic of Progenitus at this point right now, but at least we'll be able to get down Tarmogoyf next turn and kind of be online for that. Yep, Chalice for 1. Okay, there we go. Let's go Ceremonious Rejection. If they have another Chalice, they have it. And we did get lucky having double Ceremonious Rejection. So, okay, let's go and exile. I guess at this point, Hopefully we draw another land, so I'll go ahead and exile the Catacombs, I think, at this point. Yeah, I like that. We'll get rid of the Catacombs. And we can still roll out Tarmogoyf. It's a nice little 2-3. If they crack, it'll be a 0-1, and then hopefully we'll be able to kind of roll our graveyard back out. Okay, Fatal Push. Yep, let's go and go for that. Let's go and get down Tarmogoyf. We're going to be online for Vapor Snag or Fatal Push. We'll be able to swing it for 2-3. If they do crack the Progenitus, worst comes to worst, we can always just cast a Death Shadow. That's going to die, go to the graveyard to make Tarmogoyf a 1-2. You know, it wouldn't be the best option for us to go for, but it will, at least it's some sort of play that we can go for. Alright, looks like they're Eldrazi Mimic. Okay. Now we're going to be able to bounce that back to the hand. For one, they're going to lose one life, and we'll be able to bounce it back and get that going. So we'll see if they'll actually crack the Exile card, Ceremonious Rejection. That's fine. 1-2. And then since I do have 1 mana up, exile all cards from draw a card. So they do have 1 mana up to kind of exile any sort of graveyard stuff out. If we want to swing him, you know, we could get in a spot where we're going to swing him with the Mimic, and then kind of bounce the Mimic back to the hand. Okay. I'm going to go for Fate. Yeah, let's go and go for Fatal Push. I like that. Let's go Fatal Push. Just want to keep them off the battlefield. If they would have had something better, they would have gotten it down. Okay. Nice little 3-4. Drawn to Polluted Delta. Let's go and get that down. And we're not going to crack just yet, so that at least we'll be able to get some sort of damage in if they do crack the Relic of Progenitus before we go to damage. At least we'll be able to get him for 1-2. Alright, so we get him for 3. Alright, puts him down to 17. There's no crack on the Relic just yet. So we crack 15, shot, go down to 13. So then I'll be 2 Death Shadows. So I think at this point right now, we're just going to go ahead and hold off. If they get some sort of creature out there, we can bounce it back with Vapor Snag, and then next turn we'll be able to get down double Death Shadow. If we go for double Death Shadow on our previous turn, then we don't end up with any creatures on the battlefield. And we'll be some sad people for that, so we're not going to do that one. One thing we do need to keep in mind is the Blinkmoth Nexus. It can be a 1-1 artifact creature with flying till end of turn. So if we get a little bit risky with our life total, it's something we're going to have to watch out for. Or if we're getting low with our Death Shadow, being maybe it's a 1-1 or a Tarmogoyf a 1-2 or something like that. Endless 1-4-3. Okay, that's fine. We'll be able to bounce that back. They're going to lose the life, and then we'll be able to, and they're completely exile a card from the graveyard. Alright, Fatal Push, that's fine. And then we'll be able to kind of get in some nice little damage next turn. Okay, so let's go ahead and go for the, let's go ahead and crack the Polluted Delta. I think we had another black-blue source on this one. Or we're going to go Breeding Pool. We have 2 black sources, Breeding Pool. Black-green. Yeah, we'll go and grab the Breeding Pool. Let's go and shock that in. Go down to 14. Let's go Vapor Snag on the Endless one. They go down to 16. That's going to be 4-5 Tarmogoyf. And we draw into Liliana. Okay, so let's go and swing in with Tarmogoyf. It's going to be 4 coming across, put them down to 12, and they'll be able to get down to Liliana. That way if they do get the Mimic out there, we'll be able to kind of start minusing from there. Okay, and let's go and plus up on Liliana, or if we actually want a -2, yeah, let's go on -2. Let's see if we can get going. Start building our graveyard. Let's go and bring back Snapcaster. I like that. Snapcaster goes back to the hand. Anything else, I'm going to go and pass the turn. So that puts it in a spot to where we can go for something. If they go for Relic of Progenitus and they pass the turn to us, then we can go for Snapcaster on the Dismember. You know, it puts in a spot to where, depending on the sequencing, we might not be able to get it. But at least if they do force the Relic of Progenitus crack, not this turn, but somewhere down the line, we do have the Snapcaster line to kind of pay a little bit extra life to make sure we get online for Death Shadow. Now, Liliana sitting at a 1, they can fire up the Blinkmoth Nexus if they want to, swing in for 1 and take care of Liliana. I would assume that's the line of play that they're kind of waiting on right now to see if that's what they want to go for. If not, we're going to be able to plus up on Liliana and then slowly, hopefully kind of start getting some nice little value off that. But at least we do have the Dismember out of the graveyard with Snapcaster if they don't crack it just yet, or if we can do it in response to kind of get a little bit of extra life total off that. That's one thing about this deck is with Sultai, Death Shadow, as Dismember is just absolutely wonderful in this deck. You know, it allows you to kind of little bit of a combat trick for Death Shadow, and at the same time you can kind of clear out the board state to make sure it's clear for you to kind of swing across. Okay, looks like our opponent's tapping out for red Eldrazi creature spell. See what kind of Eldrazi creatures they're going to get down on this one. Tapped out for red. Might be in this one for 2. Okay, that's fine. and then Ghost Quarter. Now, with Ghost Quarter being on the battlefield, we only have two basics in the deck. That is a Forest and a Swamp. So if they do go for Ghost Quarter activation, they will be online for that. But more than likely at this point, they're not going to go for it just yet. Drawn to Grizzly Salvage. Okay. Now, if we go for Grizzly Salvage, we'll at least end up with a 2-3 if they crack the Relic of Progenitus. Let's go and plus up on Liliana. Let's plus up on the Endless One. 0-1. Let's go and swing him with Tarmogoyf. Yeah, I like that. Let's go and swing him with Tarmogoyf. Because then that puts us on Grizzly Salvage, or we can go for the Snapcaster. That way, if they do it in response to that, we can go for that. All right, swing in for 4. It's going to put him down to 8. And then anything else. We're still sitting at 14, so we can Grizzly Salvage right now. Try and hit the lane for the turn. That'll put us online for a little bit of Death Shadow. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's go for Grizzly Salvage. Because if we just simply hit a fetch land, then we'll be able to crack 13, shock 2, go down to 11. So that'll at least put us down for 1 Death Shadow. And then hopefully we can kind of go from there. Maybe a Dismember next turn with Snapcaster Mage. Kind of just get us out of this Relic of Progenitus holding pattern to where we're just kind of keeping our fingers crossed that they don't activate the actual Relic of Progenitus. Okay, Grizzly Salvage. Ooh, and we do hit a Polluted Delta. So let's go and grab Polluted Delta on this one. Let's get that one down. Let's go ahead and crack. Let's grab another black-blue source off this one. Let's go and shock the Water Engraving. Yes, we're going to pay 2 on this one. Let's get down 1 Death Shadow. That's going to be a 1-1. Yeah, I'm okay with this one. Let's roll out double Death Shadow. That puts us on swinging in. If we need to, the Endless One's going to be a 0-1 still with Liliana on the battlefield. And then we can, if we simply just, okay, exile all cards, and then we'll have Snapcaster. All right, so Tarmogoyf is 0-1. We have 2-2 Death Shadows on the battlefield. Liliana is keeping the Endless One in check at this point right now. So really at this point, all we need is something like Thought Scour or Grizzly Salvage to really kind of bust open our graveyard to start swinging in with the Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf did really good in this, not really like he's a player on the team, but you know, playing around a Relic of Progenitus like that, it was really nice to kind of just force issues, see if they're going to pop different stuff like that. It would have been nice to go for Snapcaster on Dismember, but unfortunately that did happen. All right, we have an Exile Simian Spirit Guide. It's not hardcast Simian Spirit Guide, unfortunately. I love that kind of magic. It's always a lot of fun. But we'll see what they're going for on this one. Getting exiled. I don't know what it is about hardcast Simian Spirit Guide, but it always just gets me going. All right, Reality Smasher coming in. It's going to be a 5/5 body. See if they want to swing in on this one. If they do, it'll give us ourselves a nice little Death Shadow bonus. More than likely, we'll see the Reality Smasher on Liliana, I would assume. Yep. All right, swinging in. That's fine. We'll go and let that go through. Trample, take care of Liliana, and see if we can't hit a fetch land or what we're going to draw into to allow us to kind of get out from underneath this one. So, Liliana does hit the graveyard. That's going to be 1 card type for Tarmogoyf. And then let's see. Something like Vapor Snag would be a nice little draw. Is it? Misty Forest. Misty Rainforest. Okay, that is good. And we do have another, we at least have 2 Overgrown Tombs in there. So let's go get that down. So, we shot go down to 10, shot goes down to 8. That's going to be 3 more 5s coming across as a nice little 1, 2, 2, 3. We'll be able to push past the end of this one. Yeah, let's go and push in on this one. We can always go Snapcaster to chump block on the Reality Smasher. Yep, let's go and push in. I like this. Coming in hot with the crew. Got the double Death Shadows and the Tarmogoyf. Whole motley crew of creatures coming across. Let's see if they want to offer up any blocks. So, if we do shock, that's going to be 6, and then it'll be 10, and then, yeah, we should be lethal, depending on how they want to go for the blocks on this one. Okay, let's go and crack the Misty. Let's go and shock the Overgrown Tomb in. Yep. That's going to be 5 right there, and that will be lethal coming across. So pretty much either way, I guess they technically could have blocked on a Death Shadow to kind of take care of it, but they'll put them down to 1. So put them down to -2. Unfortunately, they weren't able to push past us on that one. And then if they did get down Reality Smasher for next turn, we had Snapcaster doing a little bit of chump blocking to make sure that we didn't just, you know, I guess technically maybe we could have, it'd been really hard for us to beat double Reality Smasher. But we did push past the Eldrazi Chalice, whatever this is, different interesting build of Eldrazi. So, alright everybody, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks, bye.